Hey everyone, and welcome back to English for Life. I'm Emma, and today I want to talk about something that might just change how you think about learning English. So take a deep breath, relax your shoulders, and let's begin. When you start learning English, it can feel big, maybe even too big. There are so many words, so many rules, and so many tenses. Every time you open a book or watch a movie, you hear new words that you've never seen before. And sometimes that makes you think, oh no, I'll never learn all of this. If you've ever felt that way, you are not alone. Every learner I've ever met has felt that same frustration. But here's something I want you to remember right now. You don't need to know everything to start speaking English. You just need the right 500 words. Yes, 500 words. That's it. It sounds too simple, doesn't it? But it's true. Let me explain. Most native English speakers use about 3,000 words in their everyday life. That includes everything: chatting with friends, ordering food, writing messages, watching TV. But the most common 500 words appear in about 70% of everything they say. Think about that. If you know and can use those 500 words, you can understand most conversations around you, even if you don't know every single word. That's a huge win. And here's the secret. It's not about how many words you know. It's about how you use the words you know. I'll tell you a story from my own experience. When I was learning Spanish, I did exactly what many learners do with English. I tried to study everything. I bought grammar books. I made long lists of vocabulary. Every night, I would write down 20 new words, sometimes 50, and I felt proud. But when I met real people, in a cafe, in a market, or just walking around, my brain froze. I couldn't speak. I couldn't remember even the simplest words. And then, one of my Spanish teachers said something that completely changed my mindset. He said, "Emma, stop studying so many words. Live life with a few of them." That sentence stayed with me forever. So I started small. I picked about 500 common words. Words like go, want, come, eat, time, day, good, people. And I practiced them every day. I didn't just read them, I used them. I said them out loud, I built sentences with them. I wrote little stories using them. And slowly, something magical happened. I started to speak. I didn't know everything, but I could finally talk about my day, ask for things, share my ideas. It wasn't perfect, but it was real communication. And that, my friend, is what English is all about. Now, maybe you're thinking, okay, Emma, but what are those 500 words? How can I find them? Good question. There are many lists online, the 500 most common English words. But what matters more than the list is what you do with it. If you know how to use simple words in many different ways, you can talk about almost anything. Let me show you what I mean. Take the word go. It's simple, but very flexible. You can say, I go to work. I go home. I go every day. I will go tomorrow. I want to go with you. I have to go now. All those sentences come from just one small word. Now try another. Have. I have a book. I have a friend. I have time. I have to go. I had lunch. I will have dinner. See? One small word can do a lot of work. This is why focusing on 500 words is not about being lazy. It's about being smart. It's about learning deeply, not widely. When you can use those words confidently, you can understand more, speak more, and feel more comfortable. That's fluency, not perfection, not fancy vocabulary, just confidence. Now, I'm going to walk with you step by step through real stories, simple strategies, and ideas that will help you live in English even with just a small vocabulary. By the end, you'll see that 500 words aren't a limitation, they're a door. A door that opens to connection, conversation, and confidence. So take a sip of your tea or coffee, get comfortable, and let's dive deeper. Welcome back, friends. Before a short break, we talked about the big idea that you can start speaking English with just 500 words. But now I want to take you on a journey because this idea, it's not just theory. It's real. It's happening every day all around the world. I want to tell you a few stories, real people, real lives, and how they used small, simple English to open big, beautiful doors. Let's start with Ahmed. He's a taxi driver from Cairo, Egypt. When I met him, it was early morning. The sun was just rising over the city, soft golden light, noise everywhere, people going to work. I got into his taxi and he smiled. He said, "Hello, where you go?" That's all. Just 3 words. But the way he said it, friendly, confident, it was enough. As we drove, he tried to make small talk. He said things like, "You like Egypt? Good weather today. Traffic, always traffic." And we laughed. I noticed something. Ahmed didn't use complicated grammar. He didn't use big words. But his face, his tone, his smile, they told a story. I understood everything. When I asked him how he learned English, he said, "Tourist, everyday, small English. I listen, I speak, little by little." That's it. No textbooks, no classes, just life. He probably knew about 400 to 500 words, but he used them every single day. And you know what? He had confidence. He could talk to anyone. And here's what I love about Ahmed's story. He didn't wait to be perfect. He started before he was ready. And because of that, he learned faster. He lived the language, not just studied it. The second story comes from Bangkok, Thailand. Her name is Mai. She works in a small noodle shop near the river. When I first met her, I went there to eat lunch. She came up with a bright smile and said, "Hello, you want noodle?" Simple, but perfect. Over the next few days, I kept going back to that little shop. Every day, she would learn 1 or 2 new words. I would teach her things like spicy, sweet, or very good. She would repeat them, laugh, and try them on her customers. One day, she proudly said, "Today I learned new word, delicious." And then she looked at me and said, "My English small, but my heart big." And that moment, I'll never forget it. Mai spoke maybe 300 words of English, but she used them with warmth, humor, and joy. And because she used them, she learned faster than people who only studied them. Her English was her bridge to the world. Tourists loved her. They came back again and again. Some even taught her new words. And that's the magic of small English. It connects people. Now, let's fly to Spain. There's a young woman named Sofia. She's from Colombia. When she was 22, she decided to travel to London for the first time. She was nervous, really nervous, because she had studied English for 2 years, but she never spoke. Her vocabulary notebook was full of words she could write but not say. Before her trip, her English teacher told her, "Sophia, focus only on your 500 most useful words. Practice them, speak them, think them." So that's what she did. Every day, she would look at her little list. Want, need, go, come, eat, drink, love, like, can, make, good, bad, day, time, money, people, friend, food, help. She practiced making sentences. I want coffee. I need help. I like this. Good day. People are nice. She recorded herself speaking. She even talked to herself while she cooked dinner. Then she arrived in London. And guess what? She survived beautifully. She ordered food, asked for directions, bought train tickets, met people. And by the end of her 2-week trip, she said, "Emma, I didn't know many words, but I knew enough." Sometimes enough is all you need. This one is special. Her name is Rosa. She's from Mexico, and she started learning English when she was 65. She wanted to talk to her grandchildren. They live in the United States. At first, she thought it was too late. She said, "My brain old, my English slow." But I told her, "Rosa, forget grammar. Forget big words. Let's just learn your 500 words, the words you need to talk to your grandkids." So we made her list together. "Hi, sweetie. How are you? Come here. Good job. Eat your food. I love you." Every day, she practiced those words with love in her heart. And after a few months, she could call her grandchildren on video and talk to them in English. Her voice shook with joy when she said, "I love you," and they answered, "I love you too, Grandma." That's the power of small English. You see, sometimes English isn't about passing a test or getting a certificate. Sometimes it's about saying, "I love you" to someone far away. Now let me tell you about Paulo from Brazil. When I met him, he was working as a cleaner in a small hostel in Lisbon. He didn't speak much English, just a few basic words. But every day, tourists came in and out, and he listened carefully. He didn't study grammar. He didn't use a book. He just listened. And every time he heard a new word, he repeated it softly to himself. He would say, "Check in, check out, room key, breakfast, okay." One day, a tourist asked him, "Can you help me find the metro?" And he said, "Yes, I help you. This way, please." His English wasn't perfect, but his help was real. Over time, he learned more and more through real conversations. And guess what? 2 years later, he became a tour guide. Still not perfect English, but enough to tell stories, to laugh, to share. And that's fluency in the real world. Paulo always said something that stayed with me. He said, "I clean rooms before. Now I clean words, make them shine." I love that. He understood something most people forget. You don't learn English only from books. You learn it from people, from life. So, what do all these stories have in common? Whether it's a taxi driver in Egypt, a noodle seller in Thailand, a traveler from Colombia, a grandmother in Mexico, or a cleaner in Portugal, they all used small English, big hearts, and daily practice. They didn't wait to know everything. They started small, but they started today. They practiced in real life, not just in notebooks. And that's the secret. English is not only something you study, it's something you live. So maybe now you can think of your own story. What could you do with your 500 words? Could you order food? Ask for directions? Make a new friend online? Tell someone about your day? It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be real. All right, take a deep breath. That was a lot of beautiful people, right? And we still have more to talk about. After a short break, we'll go step by step into how you can practice your 500 words every day. What to do, what to avoid, and how to make your English part of your life. So don't go anywhere. Grab a drink, stretch a little, and come back in a minute. Welcome back, my friend. You've met the people who proved it's possible to live, travel, and love using small English. Now it's your turn. I'll show you how to practice those 500 words in real life. No long grammar tables, no heavy textbooks. Just small, daily actions that build real confidence. Let's start right at the beginning of your day. When you wake up, before you even touch your phone, say a few English sentences out loud. Simple ones. Good morning. I feel sleepy. Today is Friday. I want coffee. You don't need anyone to listen. You just need your voice. Speaking English to yourself trains your mouth and your brain together. It's like brushing your teeth. Small, daily, automatic. When you brush, you don't think, oh, I must move my hand left to right. You just do it. That's what we want for your English. After your morning coffee, try describing what you see. The sun is bright. The street is quiet. I hear birds. It doesn't have to be interesting, it just has to be real. If you do this every morning, your 500 words will start to live inside your world. Now, as you move through your day, keep a small voice in English running in your head. For example, when you're cooking, say, I cut the onion. I wash the rice. I cook soup. When you're walking to work, I go to the bus. I see people. I feel happy. This may sound too easy, but it's powerful because you're connecting English to your real life. And your brain remembers best when words come with actions. You can also label things around you. Put small sticky notes on objects. Door, window, cup, phone, shoes. You'll start to think in English without even trying. That's living with your 500 words. Every few hours, do a mini check-in. Ask yourself in English small questions. How do I feel? What do I want? What am I doing now? Answer out loud, even if it's simple. I feel tired. I want tea. I am working. Each time you do this, you're training your mind to respond quickly. That's fluency, being able to answer life in English. Now let's talk about real conversations. You might think, but Emma, I don't have anyone to talk to. Don't worry, there are always people. You can start with shop assistants, neighbors, or even online friends. When you buy something, try one short English phrase. Hello, how are you? Thank you. Have a nice day. It's not about long talk, it's about real moments. If you're online, find a language exchange app or an English chat group. You don't need to write long messages. A simple hi, how are you today? Starts a conversation. Then keep using your 500 words again and again. Each time you use them, they grow stronger. Remember, the best classroom is the world around you. Repetition is the secret glue of language. When you repeat words, they move from your short memory to your long memory. So choose 5 to 10 of your 500 words every day and play with them. Take the word want. Say it many ways. I want coffee. I want to rest. I wanted a book. I don't want rain. Play, change, repeat. Then choose another word. Good. Good day. Good idea. Good friend. That's good. You'll see how much you can express with just a few tiny blocks. Listening is as important as speaking. When you were a baby, you listened for months before saying a single word. So do the same. Every day, listen to small, easy English. Children's shows, slow podcasts, songs, or short YouTube clips. Don't worry if you don't understand everything. Just catch familiar words. Go, come, eat, good, happy. Your brain is learning even when you think it isn't. If you hear a sentence you like, repeat it softly. It's a beautiful day. I don't know. Let's go. You're training your ear, your tongue, and your heart together. Now, here's where your 500 words become 1,000 ideas. You don't need new words, you just need to mix the old ones. Look, I go to work. I go home. I go with friends. One small change and the meaning changes too. Then combine 2 short ideas. I go to work and I meet my boss. I eat lunch and I feel happy. You're already creating complex thoughts with simple language. That's real communication. If you want to keep your motivation, build a 10-minute English routine. Here's an easy one. 2 minutes speaking. Describe your morning. 2 minutes listening. A short video or podcast. 2 minutes reading. Something simple online. 2 minutes writing. One short message or journal note. 2 minutes review. Repeat words you liked. That's it. 10 minutes. But if you do it every day, it becomes powerful. You don't need to study for hours. You just need to show up every day. Here's something I've learned from every student I've taught. You remember what you feel. If a word is connected to emotion, laughter, surprise, love, you'll never forget it. So make your 500 words emotional. When you learn happy, think of a moment that made you truly smile. When you learn hungry, imagine your favorite meal. When you learn love, picture someone special. Your brain is not a computer, it's a storyteller. Give it stories. Here's one of my favorite practices. Take photos of your life, your breakfast, your street, your pet, and write one English sentence for each picture. This is my breakfast. This is my cat. This is my favorite place. You can keep them on your phone like a picture diary. It's simple, creative, and full of emotion. And every photo becomes a memory in English. I know, mistakes feel scary. But please, don't fight them. Every time you make a mistake, your brain learns. If you never make mistakes, you're not really learning, you're hiding. Remember Ahmed, the taxi driver. He said, "Traffic, always traffic." Was it perfect grammar? No. Was it communication? Yes. And that's the goal. So when you forget a word or say something wrong, smile. Say, "Oops, I try again." That attitude will take you further than any grammar rule. Every word you use is a victory. Say a full sentence today? That's a win. Understand a short video? That's a win too. Learning English isn't one big step. It's thousands of tiny steps. And every one of them counts. So at the end of each day, tell yourself, I spoke English today. I listened today. I learned today. That's the mindset of progress. Take a slow breath in and out. You're doing great. Even just listening to this episode is part of your English life. Because when you listen, imagine, and feel, your 500 words grow inside you. Before we finish this part, let me share one practical idea I give to my students. It's called the word box. Get a small box or even a jar. Write one of your English words on a small piece of paper. Add a short sentence using it. Want, I want coffee. Need, I need help. Like, I like music. Put the paper in the box. Every few days, take a few out and read them aloud. You'll see how many you remember and how proud you feel. The box will slowly fill up with words, and so will your confidence. The mirror talk feels silly at first, but it works. Stand in front of a mirror and talk to yourself in English for 1 minute. Look at your face, your mouth, your eyes. Smile. Say anything about your day, your plans, your dreams. I'm learning English. I can speak. I'm getting better every day. This isn't just language practice. It's confidence practice. And confidence is what turns 500 words into a voice that can move the world. So, there you go. 12 small ways to live your English every single day. Remember, you don't learn English only by studying it. You learn it by using it, loving it, and living with it. Next, we'll talk about the most important ingredient of all, your mindset. How to stay motivated, how to keep believing in yourself, and how to find joy in every little word. Welcome back, my friend. Take a breath with me, in and out. You've come so far. You've learned that you don't need thousands of words to speak English. You've met real people who changed their lives with just a few hundred. And you've learned simple, daily ways to bring those words into your world. Now it's time to talk about something even more powerful, your mindset. Because English isn't just about words. It's about courage. It's about trust. It's about the little voice inside you that says, yes, I can do this. Let's be honest. Speaking another language can be scary. Sometimes you know the word, but it disappears the moment you open your mouth. Sometimes you worry about your accent or about what other people will think. Sometimes you start a sentence and then stop halfway. I know that feeling. Every language learner does. When I first started speaking Spanish, I remember one night at a restaurant in Madrid. I wanted to order food, but I froze. The waiter looked at me kindly and said, "Yes?" And I said nothing. I felt small, embarrassed, and frustrated. But later that night, I thought, why am I so afraid of being imperfect? No one is perfect, not even native speakers. We make mistakes in our own language every day. The real problem wasn't my grammar, it was my fear. So the next day, I went back to the same restaurant. I looked at the waiter, smiled, and said in my broken Spanish, "Hello, I want food. I don't know the words, but I'm hungry." And we both left. He helped me, I learned. That was the moment I stopped letting fear control my English, or any language. Here's something most learners don't realize. Every time you try, you are already winning. Every time you open your mouth, even if your English isn't perfect, you're building a bridge. Imagine a baby learning to walk. They fall, they stand, they fall again, and everyone claps. No one says, "Oh no, that baby made a mistake." They just smile and say, "You can do it." You deserve the same kindness. So the next time you speak English and you feel nervous, imagine that you are that brave baby, taking small steps toward confidence. Smile, speak, try again. That's how all speakers, even fluent ones, grow. Sometimes students tell me, "Emma, I study, but I forget everything." And I always say, no, you didn't forget. The words are sleeping. Yes, they're sleeping inside you, waiting for the right moment to wake up. Every time you listen, every time you read, every time you say even one sentence, you are watering the seeds of your English garden. You may not see growth right away, but one day you'll look back and realize, wow, I can speak. I can understand. I've grown. Language learning is quiet magic. It's slow, gentle, but powerful. So be patient with yourself. Be kind. Let's talk about flow. When you stop thinking about grammar and start thinking about meaning, you enter a beautiful rhythm, the flow of English. You don't have to build perfect sentences. You just need to connect ideas. I go park. I see friends. We talk. We eat. We happy. That's real communication. If someone understands you, you've succeeded. As your confidence grows, your grammar will follow naturally. Language corrects itself through use. But confidence must come first. So focus on what you can say, not what you can't. I know 500 words sound small, but remember, they're not just words. They're tools. They're the keys to doors you didn't even know existed. Think of them as your little team, your words that work for you. You don't have to be perfect to be powerful. With those 500 words, you can ask for help, make friends, get a job, travel, fall in love, share your ideas, and tell your story. That's not small English. That's real English. That's your English. Sometimes people wait for the perfect moment to start speaking. They say, when I learn more words, then I'll speak. But that moment never comes. The truth is, you already have enough. If you can say hello, if you can say thank you, if you can say how are you can start a connection. And connection is what language is for. Don't wait for later. Start today. Start now. Let's laugh a little. One of my students, Kenji from Japan, once told me proudly, "Teacher, yesterday I walk my dog in the sky." I laughed and he laughed too. He meant to say, I walked my dog outside. But you know what? I understood him. He made a mistake, but he communicated something real and funny. We both learned from that moment, and we both remembered it forever. Mistakes are memories with lessons inside. So don't be afraid to make them. Collect them like souvenirs. Let's take a moment here. Close your eyes for a second. Imagine all the people you could talk to if you spoke English. Friends in other countries, travelers, teachers, even strangers who might become close friends. Each word you learn is a bridge to someone new. So stop seeing English as a test you must pass. See it as a bridge you can walk across. A bridge that leads to connection, stories, laughter, and life. Sometimes courage means speaking when your voice shakes, even when your accent feels heavy or when you're unsure of the next word. That's when growth happens. Every brave sentence you speak adds one more brick to your confidence. And every time you stop yourself because of fear, that brick stays unbuilt. So be brave. Build your wall of confidence. One simple, honest sentence at a time. Your English doesn't have to sound like mine, or like anyone else's. Your accent, your rhythm, your personality, they're part of your story. English belongs to you too. It's not owned by native speakers, it's shared by millions of learners around the world. When you speak, you're not copying someone. You're adding your own music to the language. And that's beautiful. So we've come to the end of our time together today. But really, it's not an end, it's a beginning. Now you know. You don't need thousands of words to begin speaking. You just need 500 words and the courage to use them. Speak them when you wake up. Speak them when you walk. Speak them when you laugh. Speak them even when you're afraid. And one day, without even realizing it, you'll find yourself speaking freely, not perfectly, but naturally. That's the real goal. I want you to remember this. Language isn't just about words. It's about people. It's about connection. And connection begins with courage. So wherever you are, in your kitchen, on a bus, in your room, take a deep breath and say something in English right now. Anything, even just, I can do it. Because you can. You really, really can. This is Emma from English for Life, thanking you for listening, for learning, and for believing in the power of small English. Until next time, keep speaking, keep smiling, and remember, your 500 words can change your world.